Right, we've got a bit of breaking transfer news for you and a Sky Sports News exclusive.
The transfer saga that has dominated the back pages for months has finally reached its jaw-dropping conclusion. In the early hours of the morning, football journalist Fabrizio Romano dropped his trademark catchphrase, sending shockwaves through the footballing world: Bruno Guimarães to Manchester City, here we go. The Brazilian Maestro is officially set to trade the black and white of Tyneside for the sky blue of Manchester in a deal that completely redefines the landscape of the Premier League. For the better part of the year, Guimarães had been the most coveted midfielder on the European market. A masterful engine room operator, his stellar performances for both Newcastle United and the Brazilian national team had made him the primary target for several elite clubs looking to bridge the gap at the top of the table. Chief among those suitors were Arsenal and Manchester United. Mikel Arteta had long envisioned Guimarães as the final piece of his midfield puzzle, aiming to pair the Brazilian's robust defensive capabilities and elite transition play alongside Martin Odegaard. The Gunners had held extensive talks with the player's representatives and looked, at several intervals, to be leading the race for his highly sought-after signature. Simultaneously, Manchester United were heavily active in the shadows. The Red Devils, eager to add world-class steel and tactical intelligence to their midfield, viewed the 28-year-old as a transformative signing. Old Trafford officials had positioned themselves to pounce, viewing him as the ideal anchor to lead their new era under refreshed sporting leadership. Yet, just as a classic red-on-red transfer battle seemed destined to go down to the wire, Manchester City pulled off a masterclass in stealth recruitment. Operating with characteristic discretion, Txiki Begiristain and the City board monitored the situation closely before launching a swift, decisive strike that left their rivals completely empty-handed. City's approach was defined by sheer financial and sporting gravity. Knowing that Newcastle United considered their captain virtually priceless and were fiercely determined to keep him, the reigning champion swept in with an absolutely irresistible transfer figure. It was an astronomical package that not only met the Magpies' steep valuation but structured the deal in a way that gave the Newcastle hierarchy little choice but to capitulate. For Newcastle United, parting with their beloved talisman is a bitter pill to swallow. Eddie Howe had repeatedly stressed the player's fundamental importance to the club's long-term ambitions, especially after recent high-profile squad adjustments. However, the staggering economics of City's final proposal provided a massive financial boost that will allow Newcastle to thoroughly rebalance their squad under strict financial regulations. Tactically, the acquisition of Guimarães represents a dream come true for Pep Guardiola. The Catalan manager has always coveted midfielders who possess an immaculate blend of press resistance, high-volume passing accuracy, and intense defensive work rate. Bruno checks every single box, offering the rare ability to dictate the tempo of a match from deep while also possessing the attacking intuition to create in the final third. His arrival provides Manchester City with an embarrassment of riches in the centre of the park. With the demanding scheduling of modern football, Guimarães offers Guardiola the perfect elite option to rotate, complement, or eventually succeed aging pillars in the City midfield, ensuring the club's domestic and continental dominance remains entirely uninterrupted. The timing of the breakthrough adds an extra layer of drama to the move. With the midfielder currently heavily involved on the international stage with the Selecao, City scouts and executives worked around the clock to ensure the paperwork was ironed out cleanly, preventing any further post-tournament bidding wars from disrupting their plans. Predictably, the blue half of Manchester has erupted in celebration. City fans are already fantasizing about the devastating midfield combinations Guardiola can deploy next season. Conversely, the mood in North London and Old Trafford has turned to immense frustration, as two of City's fiercest rivals are forced back to the drawing board to find alternative targets. According to the details emerging from Romano's announcement, personal terms have already been fully agreed upon between Manchester City and the players' camp. Guimarães is set to sign a long-term contract that reflects his status as one of the premier midfielders in world football, with medical examinations already being scheduled to take place in the coming days. As the ink prepares to dry on the contracts, the rest of the footballing world is left to contemplate a terrifying reality. Manchester City were already the benchmark of footballing excellence, and by adding a player of Bruno.
This video and subscribe.